Is the first week of March Madness the most exciting 4 days in sports? Some people argue, but I'll tell you what, it is so very exciting. Selection Sunday coming up here, and we are heading to March Madness 2025. I'm going to talk about two undervalued teams. Now, I'm doing a video with Kelly, so if you want some March Madness TNA, how favorites have done, how dogs have done, how top seeds have done, make sure you check that out. But I do want to mention this. When you look at the last 14 national champions, every one of them, excluding Connecticut in 2014, has had a Ken Pom top 19 offense and top 22 defense. That is every national champion except that Connecticut team, which was 39-10. The teams that fall into that category, Auburn, Duke, Florida, Houston, and that's it. Now, Tennessee is just a little behind. They've played very well lately, and they have the number one defense. When you're betting futures in March Madness, I do this for every team that I'm looking at the futures. I look at what the odds are to win the conference tournament. I look at what the odds are to get to the Final Four. I then look at what the odds are to win the national championship. So let's look at Tennessee, for example. We know the SEC is historically good this season. From top to bottom, probably the best conference ever in college basketball. The SEC championship. Auburn's the favorite, Florida number 2, Alabama number 3. Tennessee is actually the number 4 team at 6-1 to win the SEC. To make it to the Final Four, they're only plus 300 at DraftKings, plus 360 at FanDuel, and to win the national championship, they're plus 1,600 and plus 1,800. So I'm looking at the Volunteers and saying, boy, they have legitimate value doing the SEC, getting 6-1 to do that. So I did bet them in that role if you're watching this video the first night of release. I'm also betting Tennessee with the 360 difference to 18 plus 1,800 to win the national championship. I am betting him to win the national championship. I actually got 20-1. The 18-1 is the best I found for you here. But you need to make sure that if you are in that position, take a look, and it's always good to hedge a little bit back if you're in a position to hedge when you get to the Final Four. Over the last 3 weeks, the Tennessee Volunteer defense is number 1 as far as metrics goes for the last 3 weeks. We know the offense is legitimate. Top 22 as far as Ken Pom goes. They're number 1 overall and number 1 the last 3 weeks in defense. They play slow tempo. They're an elite three-point shooting defender. That's what I like to see in the tournament. You rarely get upset if you could stop teams from making multiple threes. So to me, the Tennessee Volunteers come away with the SEC championship. And even if they don't, it's okay. I'm backing them at plus 18-1 to win the national championship this year. Rick Barnes, get it done. Go Vols. My number 2 surprise team. I'm not sure if it's that much a surprise team because they're the number 2 team in the Big Ten. Now, Maryland, only plus 370 to win the Big Ten. Michigan, the favorite. Michigan State, the favorite at plus 250. But to get to the Final Four, you can get 9-1 or plus 850 at DraftKings and FanDuel. And to win the national championship, they're 40-1. Now, Maryland's offense isn't good enough to fit in that category with the Ken Pom rankings. But when I'm getting 9-1 just to make it to the Final Four, that's the way I'm approaching Maryland in this situation. I'm going to take the 9-1. Why? Well, over the last 2.5 weeks, this team is the best defensive team based on who you've played in college basketball. You look at their games since January 19th, 2 losses, Ohio State on the road and Michigan State at home. Oh, yeah, by the way, Michigan State, the number 1 seed in the Big Ten. A very, very impressive stretch. Again, a defense that's top 10 year to date, number 1 over the last 3 weeks. The offense, 34, not bad as far as Ken Pom rating goes, and you have multiple people that can get it done when you're scoring the ball. I like Gillespie as a point guard. This is a junior that has started all 31 games. I like Queen. You look at the Maryland team. I love their starting lineup. They do have a freshman center in Derek Queen, who really has become the go-to player in their process, but they have so much continuity. 4 of the 5 players of each started 31 games. The 5th player, Julian Reese, the 5th player, Rodney Rice, has started 27 games. Great continuity, great leadership from experienced players. They were a top 100 team as far as returning experience comes. You look at what they did last year. Remember, Kevin Willard was here last year. They struggled down the stretch. They won the first Rutgers game in the Big Ten tournament. They lost Wisconsin, and they failed to make the tournament. So they will be excited. I believe they get off to a quick start. Defense wins. Defense travels. The Terps to make the Final Four at +9 to 1. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. Smash that like button. Make sure to follow us at WagerTalk TV so you get notified every time one of our wonderful handicappers gives you great free content, which a plethora on the website each and every day. And remember, check out my TNA March Madness video with Kelly Stewart as we break down some of those betting trends for you to watch in the upcoming tournament. Thanks again for tuning in.